welcome back. Been a long time no see. Very long, feels like forever and a day, but we're back. It's episode 89, the Mark Andrews, the best tight end in the league episode. Simple as that. But how are you doing, Sutton? How are you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing great. In the midst of all these holidays and everything like that, there's a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be excited for outside of Ravens football. But, we're here to talk about Ravens football, unfortunately. So welcome back to episode 89, the Mark Andrews episode of the Purple Rain podcast, Purple Pain podcast, because we've lost 4 in a row. We're going to talk about that tonight. But like I said, this is the Mark Andrews episode, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Mark Andrews himself because he has been absolutely balling out of control.
Monster.
But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about everybody who's here in the live chat right now. We got Darius the Official in here, joining the live stream, says Rain Gang. What's up, Darius the Official? We appreciate you for coming through. Let's see, K-Dog in the house, of course, per usual, says, what's good, Rain Gang family? What's good, man? Appreciate you for coming through, K-Dog. Lisa says, hey guys, there's no excuse for losing 4 straight games. I know in my heart that we will make the playoffs. Okay. All right. Wishful thinking. I like it. I like it, Lisa. But we'll talk about that. Buffed is in here. See, JD Killswitch, Daquan, Yolanda says, good evening, Rain Gang. Hope everyone is well. Good evening, Yolanda. Thank you for, inquiring. We hope you're good too. We hope that all of you guys had a good Christmas, a very, very Merry Christmas. Let's see. Raven Ron in the building says, what up, PRP? Wink needs to shut up for the rest of the season. We were just talking about that before we went on live. Yeah. That's funny. J Prime 235 in the house. Jay Fleet, Daquan, I think I already mentioned him. Kevin Smith, DLC, Charles Xavier in the house. Purple Haze, Larry Davis, Daquan Christian. Oh my goodness. All you guys are in here. Full Effect Rain Gang is in here. Per usual, we appreciate all of you guys for coming out to episode 89 of the Purple Rain podcast. Before we get into anything else, make sure you like the video. Like this video right here, right now. Just get out of the way, so you don't have to worry about it later. If you're in here right now, go ahead and like this video. And if you're not watching this live and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, big shout out to you. We love you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you leave a comment down below in the comment section saying hashtag replay gang. We love to see that. Absolutely love to see it. Kali says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Kali? Thank you for coming through. We got Rainmaker in here. Okay. Yeah, man. So you guys already know what the deal is tonight, man. The Ravens have dropped 4 straight, so we're here to talk all about it. The question is, can the Ravens still make the playoffs? That is the basis, the premise for this show, episode 89 of the Purple Rain podcast. Obviously, yesterday, Ravens took another L to the Cincinnati Bengals, another bad, ugly L to the Bengals. They put up 41 on us for the second time in a row, because I'm pretty sure they put up 41 the first game, right?
I think it was 41 or 42. One of the two.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Basically, they hung 40 on us twice in a row, which is embarrassing, to say the least. Now, I know we're banged up in pretty much every single position. We're down to our backups, pretty much, damn near. But it's still really no excuse, man. You got to go out there, man. You got to fight for 60 minutes of football, and just to see, I don't know, it just didn't look good yesterday. What I saw from the defense, the Bengals didn't even have to punt the ball. Did they ever punt?
Yeah,
I don't think they punted.
No, they didn't.
Exactly. There was literally I can tell you this, Alex. I literally fell asleep on that game because I knew the defense was not going to make any stops. I saw the offense doing what it was doing. Josh Johnson doing what he could with Mark Andrews. Serviceable.
Honestly, he put out a winning game. If the defense was good, we win that game. I'm just leaving it. He did what he had to do. I like what they're calling, but this is defense, man. The defense. Yeah,
man. That defense was just they could not stop anything. They could not stop a runny nose yesterday, at all. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And like I said, that's why I fell asleep on it, because I knew, in my brain, in my heart of hearts, I knew okay, we have 0 chance of winning this game just based off of how the defense looks. We can't stop them, and we're still nickel and diming for every yard down the field. It was working. We were making some plays to get down the field. Josh Johnson had 2 touchdowns?
Yep.
2 touchdowns. I don't think we had the 1 pick at the end of the game, right? But did not play a bad game. Like my guy Alex said, serviceable, and we've seen that from now not only him but Tyler Huntley as well. So we have serviceable backups. It's just a matter of what can the rest of the team do to support them. Like I said, definitely a very disappointing loss. It puts us in a very bad spot. in terms of playoff contention. Now, as it stands right here, right now, at the time that we are recording this live stream, the Ravens hold the 7th seed in the playoffs.
Somehow.
We hold the 7th seed. Somehow, somewhere. So we're still in it, but it really does not look good at all. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to talk about, since this is episode 89, excuse me, I want to talk about Mark Andrews, man. I want to talk about Mark Andrews and everything that he's been able to do this season. We have to tip our caps right here, right now, on episode 89 of the Appropriate Podcast. I feel like it's very fitting. We have to tip our caps to the best tight end in the league. And you heard me say it. The best tight end in the league right now.
This year. This year.
Right now. Yeah, this year.
Indeed.
I think he's taken that step. He's definitely he's shifted a gear. You know, he's gone to the next level. Like, and the reason why I think that he's really shifted a gear, when I realized it, was I think it was a couple weeks ago. I think we were playing the Browns, I want to say. He makes that catch up the sideline. You know which one I'm talking about. We talked about it here on the podcast. And he drags like 3 or 4 defenders for extra yards. Ever since that play, he's been doing that consistently. It's like something like sparked in his head, like, you know what? I am that guy. Yeah. I am Mandrews, you know what I mean? So, like, that's what I love to see from him, like, now that he's, you know, he's catching the ball, he's fighting for extra yards, he's not taking no for an answer. He literally is our best weapon on offense right now.
By far. I mean, his contract right now looks like a steal. What, 4 years, $50 million? Dallas Goedert is making more money than Mark Andrews is.
Right.
Dallas Goedert literally let a ball hit off of his heel, and they got picked off. So from how we got Mark Andrews in that contract, I'm not complaining. But, man, oh, man, what he's been doing, the drops, they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, here and there you expect it, but it's just very nice to see that, you know, he's got reliable hands, and he steps up when we need him. That's literally all we've been asking for.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, now me personally, as much as I'm sitting up here and giving praise to Mark Andrews as he deserves, you know, because he's having an All-Pro year, best tight end in the league right now, statistically, and if you just watch the eye test, I mean, he's the best tight end in the league. But we do still have those questions surrounding what does he do in the big games when the lights are at their brightest and, you know, the stakes are at their highest.
I mean, this year, he showed up against the Chiefs, wasn't the best, but he didn't drop. Colts game, 2 touchdowns. No touchdown in the 2-point conversions. Browns game, come on. Don't have to talk about it.
Yeah. You're right.
Steelers game, he was moving the chains.
But you got to look back to some of the bigger games in his career. So take a look at the last 2 playoff games that we lost, right? So against the Bills, when we were down, I think it was 10, and Huntley was marching down the field. He throws a strike to Mark Andrews in the end zone, drop. You know,
that was in triple coverage. I can't put that on. I mean, just looking at it now. But we're talking about this year. This year, different. This is not the same Mark Andrews we've seen from last year and years prior. This is
ain't the same old Andrews, huh?
No.
Okay, Eric Weddle, I hear you. Ain't the same old Andrews. I hear you. I mean, I definitely hope that in the playoffs. I mean, because I feel like if we do find a way, you know, to get into the playoffs. I'm sorry. He's going to have to be the guy. You know, he's going to have to be the guy who's making the biggest plays. He's going to have to be the guy that he is right now. So it's like, we'll see. We'll see, you know, because when the stakes get higher and the lights get brighter, that's when you make your real money. That's when you make your money. So, big shout out to Mark Andrews, man. Like I said, this is episode 89 of the Purple Rain Podcast. So needless to say, this episode is dedicated to him. So big shout out to our guy, Mark Andrews, man. Just balling out of control this year. Balling out of control. But yeah, let's go ahead and just talk about the game.
Oof.
Right. So, man, I want to start with this. Let's start with the whole quarterback situation. Right. Okay. So Josh Johnson, like we said before, serviceable guy. I can't remember exactly how many yards he threw for. Somebody put in the chat real quick for me.
Over 200, I believe.
Over 200. Okay. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I mean, looked decent out there, right? Tyler Huntley looked decent out there.
Didn't look like he hadn't started the game since 2018.
Yeah. I actually tweeted, like, he does not look like a quarterback. Like, I'm not even just saying that because, like, you know, he's number 15 and it's just a new look for us, but he just did not look like, I don't know if it was just me, but I tweeted it. I was like, he doesn't look like a professional, like, NFL quarterback. I respect him because he is. But, like, when he's out there, I was just like, This guy looks like he should be lining up a wide receiver. I mean, just off the eye test. But he started
Uh,
making some plays. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was just me. I'm not trying to disrespect him or anything like that. But like,
the Los
just
Angeles
being out
Wildcats
there.
legend Josh Johnson we're disrespecting. The
Oh
AFL,
man.
XFL, whatever he played in, but yeah,
Yeah.
all Alliance American, we're disrespecting him now. Come on.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, he played pretty well. He played pretty well. Somebody said, yeah, he had over 300 actually.
Oh,
Larry Davis says
ah,
he had over 300 plus. Dylan says he was over 300. Thank you guys so much.
a lot of empty
Um,
calories there, but
yeah, feel that for sure,
we'll
definitely.
take it.
But hey, man, from a backup, you
Yeah,
know,
that's what
you
I'm
can't really
saying. He
ask
hasn't
for
been
much
started in
more.
3 years.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
game was
and
really on
what
the
was it?
defense.
We had the lead, what 7-3.
Hmm.
They scored. I think we fired back, and then it kind of once we stopped scoring, and we couldn't just go blow for blow with them, unfortunately,
Nope,
and that's how the game was lost.
nope. Yeah. And once again, this was a game where the defense failed to force any turnovers. I don't think we got any
Yeah,
turnovers yesterday.
we there was the one in the end zone.
The Daryl Worley interception
Yeah,
got called back. Yeah,
yeah, they were playing a little. I don't know how to talk about that because there was contact. Some referees let them play. Obviously, some don't.
yeah,
But I thought it was gonna be a holding at least 7 times out of 10, and they called it. So
yeah. They definitely did. They definitely did. But hey man, we really, really needed that turnover because without turnovers, it really goes to show like if your defense cannot create turnovers, you're probably not going to win too many games.
and we
You
don't
know?
even create turnovers as it is. Like no
Yeah.
fumbles, no picks. Like we don't pick off the we picked off Baker Mayfield. That's not really a flex at this point.
Right. And I mean, he threw it right to Averett on that play.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, shoot, was that the last turnover we got? I don't even
Yep.
know. I feel like,
Yep.
wow, no way.
And in Cleveland,
Wow. That
didn't get
is
one against the Packers.
that is embarrassing.
Then we got a fumble against the Bears.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing against the Steelers.
Right. Now, I mean, let's think about who we're dealing with personnel wise, right? So, we don't have pretty
Well,
much anybody.
backups of the backups. Anthony Averett was a backup corner for us. We're on to
Yeah.
his backups now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even just like I'm just done with Ravens fans making these excuses. It's not our year. Chalk it up as that.
It's
You
not.
can't really expect more because I think fans are expecting way too much out of this team, way too much, and that's not how it is.
Yeah. Definitely think they're expecting too much from the Ravens at this point. There's only 2 games left in the season, guys, and we don't even know if our starting quarterback is good to go for the rest of these 2 games. Harbaugh still won't say. We'll get into that in a little bit. But let's talk about the offensive side of the football and some of the playmakers. James Prochet, 7 catches for like 76 yards,
If there's
just
any
balling
positive,
out. Yeah.
there's at least at least we know he'll be on the team next year. Don't know why we didn't go back to Bateman after the touchdown. Kind of
Mm,
confused.
yeah.
Um, doesn't make any sense.
No, it
And
really doesn't.
I don't know if you saw this too, but they threw that one pass to Boykin in the end zone. He
Oh
showed
yeah.
absolutely zero fight, and one of the Ravens beat writers was like, John Harbaugh was upset with him for not showing like any drive. I think this is
Mm,
his last year. Like this, I'm not trying to poke no fun. We're talking about receivers. He had one target, didn't do his most with it, had no targets again. Miles Boykin he's gone after this year, unless he has an amazing preseason.
yeah, I mean, we really just don't need him, right? Like we don't need him. Like we talked a lot about in the offseason how, even if he wasn't going to be a prolific pass catcher on this team, hey, he could still serve well in the blocking game, things like that. But
Mhm.
you see, I mean, our first 8 games that we won, and we've only won 8 games, we weren't utilizing him really at all,
No,
and you see, we still got to where we were. And that's with half the rest of the team injured still, too. So I definitely agree with you, man. I definitely think that they realize that they don't really have a need for Miles Boykin in 2021 or even going into 2022. So I agree. I definitely think it'll be his last season here in Baltimore for sure. But yeah, man, I mean, I think somebody said it down here, just agreeing with you. Dylan says Bateman's first drive was a touchdown, doesn't get any more balls thrown his way. He ended up with like 4 catches.
yeah, and they were all that. Like, it was. I don't get it. The same
Yeah.
way I don't get Tylan Wallace, 2 catches, 2 first down. Well, no, he didn't get a first down last week, but this week, 3rd and 13, contact like 3 yards behind the first down marker, and gets it.
Yeah.
Not many receivers can take contact and still get yards after that contact.
It just goes to show like how hungry these guys really are. James Prochet, Tylan Wallace, like they both had like one
Duvernay's
of
taking his
those.
spot, and he stepped up.
Yeah, yeah. But they both had one of those like, you know, I'm the man type first down plays. You know, Tylan Wallace, he gets hit by like 2, 3 guys, kind of scrambles his way out of that to just lunge for a couple more yards for the first down. James Prochet, same thing. He did it multiple times actually.
Yeah.
James Prochet, I mean, these are guys who time and time again, when they're given the opportunity, they show up and they perform. So it's like, I don't see any reason why, especially if we go spread offense, 5 wide, why we can't just kill them with like, they can't, like, defense should just be picking their poison with us. Like, we should be able to go anywhere on the field because all of our guys are more than capable of making plays, right? So I don't know, man. It's kind of frustrating in that regard. And yes, I do know the whole quarterback situation is very, very murky right now. So let's go ahead and just talk a little bit about that, Alex, just about this quarterback situation moving forward. Because there's not too much to talk about with yesterday's game, right? I mean, half the team is out, right? Practice squad defense, pretty much. We lose Averett in the first or second quarter. So we're really first quarter. Yeah, so we're down to Kevin Seymour and Robert Jackson, Darryl Worley,
Mozzie Wilkins.
Right. We're down to the likes of those type of guys. And no disrespect to them, but there's a reason why they were on the fringe of getting cut from multiple other NFL rosters or did get cut.
Street.
And on the street. Exactly. So like I said, not too much to talk about from that Bengals game. I was tweeting somebody earlier today. Listen, this Ravens-Bengals rivalry, when the Ravens are fully healthy, it's going to be it's going to be a sick rivalry. I think it's going to be the new one.
It's really not like, no, they made it something it wasn't. I didn't want to talk about this, but Nate Burleson I just want to pull up what he said because he's one of like the people who just keeps it real in the media.
He does.
He was asked about it, and let me pull it up. Not sure if it's here, but basically he was like, if the Bengals just beat their big brother Ravens, and the Ravens didn't have any of these players, it really goes to show you that like it's not even a big brother thing anymore. Like nobody really acknowledges this rivalry because it really isn't one. They just try to spoil us most of the time. That's all it is. That's not a rivalry.
Well, I honestly think that it'll become more of a rivalry.
Now it will. Now
yeah,
I think their players were trying to make it something that wasn't. He said, if the Ravens practice squad defensive backs are the Bengals' big brother, to whom they sent a message that says more about Cincinnati than Baltimore. So
I just feel like for me, the more competitive this series gets, so like, you know, once the Ravens do get healthy again, say we split with the Bengals next season, we win one, they win one, and then the next season after that, we sweep them or they sweep up. As long as it's back and forth, there will become some sort of rivalry there. Like, you know, these teams they're gonna get up for each other. On top of being like, you know, in the same division, if they're both good, they're not gonna like each other.
It doesn't help when our defensive coordinator won't shut up. Just saying dumb stuff like that. Like, bro, just shut the hell up.
Wink thinks he's like the Godfather. Like, you know, his defense can come out there and just.
His players have gotten his head's way too big, too big.
Yeah. It's like, bro, you don't have the same chess pieces that you had coming into the season. Hell, even coming into the season, you mean in the off season, like he had a much better roster, but now, I mean, it's very, very depleted, especially in the secondary. So. There's no need for you to go out there and be saying things like, "Oh, Burrow doesn't have the gold jacket. He's not this. He's not that. Whatever." It's like come on, man.
What? Okay, that's like obvious knowledge, but why are you saying that?
Yeah. Why are you throwing shade at a 24-year-old quarterback who has actually been playing well, injured himself in his first year, and came back and just picked up right where he left off? Like he's playing really well.
40-some points on your defense.
Yeah, threw for 500 yards. 500 yards on your defense. I don't know.
I'm talking about in week 6 or 7. The first time, yeah. The first time
he threw for like quote unquote 300. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Jamar Chase ate us up. I mean, Jamar Chase had over 100 yards receiving yesterday. T. Higgins had over 100 yards receiving yesterday.
Tyler Boyd.
It was just embarrassing. It was a bad showing. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, for that reason, once the Ravens do get healthy, and they can start to battle back and be more competitive in this matchup, I definitely think there will be a nasty rivalry that develops there. I do think so. I do think so. But yeah, let's talk about this quarterback situation, man. Like I said, there's not too much to talk about from yesterday's game. So let's talk about going forward. The Ravens only have 2 games left.
Rams
Two
and
games
Steelers.
left in the season. Rams and Steelers. We are at this point. It's crazy, Alex, that we're at this point now. Like all off season, we had episodes. We were speculating what we were gonna do. Schedule. I remember the schedule came out. Remember that episode when the
Yep.
schedule came out?
Yep.
And we hyped it up so much. And here we are with only 2 weeks left in the season. We got the Rams and Steelers. Pretty much got to win both. Got to have
Yeah.
both
If you
in
want
order
a
to
chance.
get in. If you want a chance, right? So, with the quarterback situation going forward, because John Harbaugh today, as of Monday, December the 27th, he said that he was hopeful that, Lamar Jackson could be back and is day to day still. Like it's been day to day for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So
They haven't
my
practiced.
thing is, right. He has not practiced. He's not been on the football field in 2 weeks, over 2 weeks now. So my thing is like, do we want Lamar Jackson to come back at this point? Because clearly he's not 100%. And me personally, I think you need 100% Lamar Jackson, to play these last 2 games.
Yep.
If he's not 100%, go in a different direction. Go Tyler Huntley.
I agree. I just
Yeah.
don't see the point. I mean, I know he wants to play. Let's just get out of the way. He was going to want to play no matter what. He's a competitor. But what is there to play for? Like, anybody in this chat, do you expect us to win in the playoffs? We make it to the 7th seed. We're playing the Chiefs or the Titans. Do you expect us to beat them?
Right. Now,
I'm not saying don't go for it, but I'm saying don't go for it and fall up short and have somebody hurt. That's why we don't get paid the coaches' money, I guess. We don't.
Because it's like, for the coaches, you don't get paid to throw the rest of a season. You know what I mean? Like you get paid to go in there and put your best foot forward in every step in every corner, in order to put your football team in a better situation. But it's kind of like a catch-22 here, man, because like you said, we could try our hardest for the rest of the season and risk somebody else getting injured, or we can, pump the brakes a little bit, shut down Lamar.
Smart decision. The smart thing.
Kind of just
he's about to get paid.
Count our losses, lick our wounds, and just come back next year, huh?
Look at the Niners. I mean, I know they were hurt last year, but if they have somebody else at quarterback, they're a much better team. That's kind of who I'm comparing us to because they were hurt badly. And they're still in the playoff running, but I think the quarterback has to do with that too. But they're a really good team.
Yeah.
With a different quarterback. But that's how I think we could be next year.
Yeah. Now, with I want to ask the chat something really quick. And if you're not watching this live, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. Thank you so much. Leave your comments down below with your answers. But I just want to know, do you guys want a Lamar Jackson, let's say he's at a 75, 80% ready to go level. Do you guys want an 80% Lamar Jackson or a 100% ready to go Tyler Huntley for the rest of the way?
I'm going Huntley.
Okay.
I just think
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we overcomplicate things with Lamar at quarterback too. The play calling in the Packers game was really good. Really, really good.
Yeah. Offense is moving the ball.
Where has that been?
I don't know. I see you guys in the rain gang here saying Huntley, Lamar, healthy Huntley, 100% Huntley for sure. Simpy Quest says Lamar. Tavon says shut down Lamar. JD Killswitch Huntley. Lisa says LJ. So you guys are really like 50-50 split down the middle on this one. I love it. But
let me just give this to you.
Go ahead.
This team just played Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
They played Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. Coming up next, Cooper Kupp, 120 plus receptions. Odell Beckham Jr., 4 touchdowns in his past 5 games with the Rams. Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee. Cam Akers is coming back, by the way. Do you
So you're saying, we're at the bank, right? We're at the bank.
I know
it's a home game.
But it's not like we're playing. Who did we get earlier this year? That was just a mop. We wiped the Broncos. There's no easy win, but it's one thing if it's like the Jaguars coming in.
Well, yeah,
and you know it's a win, or the Texans. Now you can't even say that they beat the Chargers yesterday.
See, where I got hope was that, and I remember I actually picked the Ravens to beat the Packers a couple weeks ago. I mean, they didn't actually do it. They came close, but they surprised me. They really showed me something in that game. We forget that like this team, despite all the injuries, despite all the adversity and things like that, there's one thing that's been very, very consistent. One consistent theme throughout this entire season. They have been resilient as hell. Resilient
Yep.
as hell. Like and you saw that
Not over.
especially in the Packers game too. It wasn't over until it was over. Like they were going all out to try to win that game, and they came within 1 point of
And the
winning that game.
defense
So
made the stop when they needed to.
yeah. And this is still a depleted defense. No Marlon Humphrey on Devontae Adams or anything like that. You know, we caught our game plan and we neutralized Devontae Adams for the better part of the game. He had that 1-on-1 where he beat Robert Jackson. Robert Jackson,
He's wearing 17. He's a cornerback
right.
wearing 17. That's the same number Le'Veon Bell wore earlier this year. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, some 17 on 17 violence there. But other than that, we pretty much held Devontae Adams in check. So that I
a
mean that
lot
goes
better
to
than what the
show
Browns
me.
did.
Right, that goes to show me that like we can hang with some of these better teams. Like even though we don't have the same roster that we had in the offseason or going into the season, we can still hang. We can still hang with the best of them. And that's why I still do have faith. But at the end of the day, the only problem is now I feel like we were winning a lot of these close games in the beginning of the season because the injuries had not caught up to us just yet. But
Yep.
now the injuries are finally really, really catching up to us.
Yeah.
Right, right.
It's one thing having Marlon Humphrey, Anthony Avery out there, no Marcus Peters,
Mm-hmm.
but having Kavon Seymour, um, what's his name, Tolliver. I don't even know his name.
Right.
What Don Tolliver's playing there.
Don Tolliver.
I don't know what, but it's like you go from that to that. It's like there's a big drop off. That I just don't think the quality. We're getting Jimmy Smith back, who has barely played at all this year. Pernell McPhee's back. I expect Matabike and Houston to be activated. At
That'd
least
be
have
good.
some type of pass rush. And Matt Stafford isn't mobile. The Vikings got pressure on him, and he threw a pick off of a batted pass.
Yeah.
That's the only way if we can get pressure and just disrupt him. Maybe, but like we need consistent pressure every single play. And I just don't trust this team doing that.
Yeah, I feel like with where the secondary is in terms of like, health wise, injuries and everything like that, who we have now personnel wise, I feel like they're really only trying to they're just doing the best that they can. I don't feel like that they're good enough players to go out there and just kind of exceed expectations. And I feel like that's why we're really not getting a lot of turnovers. Like you can see like even those opportunistic type plays when like say a ball gets batted up or something like that or it gets tipped or
And we
you
drop
know
it.
and we either drop it or you can just see guys are like, oh my god, like there's an opportunity for me to make a play here. I'm just trying to get by. Like so like
I'm
they
doing the
don't.
bare minimum. The bare
I'm doing
minimum.
the bare minimum. Exactly. So I don't know, man. I feel like that's definitely where the injuries have caught up to our defense because, like I said before, man, I said this about 20 minutes ago. If you're not forcing turnovers, then you're probably not a very good defense. You're probably not going to win a whole lot of
The
games.
same way if you give up sacks on offense,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to win.
Yeah. Absolutely right. So, I mean, like you said, we should be getting a couple of guys back, which will help us down the stretch against the Rams and the Steelers. And like I said, hopefully we can get to the quarterback as well. So we got our guy Boz in the house. Says, yo, Rain Gang. What's up,
Boz.
Boz? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming through the stream. Hope you had a very Merry Christmas. Let's see. Lisa says, we have Tony Jefferson, guys. Tony Jefferson didn't play bad
He
yesterday.
played him and Patrick Queen were the best players on defense yesterday.
Yeah.
Like Queen has stepped it up. Another tackle for loss, pass breakup, filling his gaps. He got hit on the double move, which I think they were in zone, not in a man. I don't think they would have Patrick Queen on a receiver. And then Tony Jefferson was making the plays he had to, making the tackles he had to, doing what he
Yeah.
had to do, covering.
Doing what he had to do.
I honestly wouldn't mind having him back as a backup safety next year.
Right.
He takes that Anthony Levine role. I would 100% be cool with it.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that too, honestly.
So, I think I placed
Absolutely.
the list today too.
Did he? Oh, did he really?
Yep, they randomly tested him. How are we gonna randomly test somebody for the virus? That's not something you randomly test somebody for. It's not
Yeah.
steroid, PEDs.
It's not steroids, PEDs. Like, come on, man. Like, Just trying to find a reason to just kick us while we're down, man. Like, guy
But he
plays a
should be
good
back
game.
though. He tweeted he's vaccinated, so if he tests negative, I think twice, he'll be back.
Okay, yeah. I think that is protocol this year for vaccinated players.
Have we
I
talked
think
about the protocol, like how
sure, yeah.
how bad it is?
Go ahead.
Like they said that like if you didn't have enough players to play a game, they would cancel the game. Remember that
Mm.
last year
Mm-hmm.
or this summer? And there's a team that can't play a game and they move it back. But they said that like they're gonna avoid moving games back. Like just make up your mind. Now they're saying it's not the 10 days. It's if you're vaccinated, you test negative. It's just really they don't care about the health and safety of these players.
No, I think they're doing just enough. So like mainstream media is like, oh, the NFL doesn't care at all about COVID. They're not taking any steps, any precautions, anything like that. They're doing the bare minimum, like you said
Yep.
before, literally the bare minimum. It is getting away with that because it makes them look good for PR and stuff like that. But yeah, man. I mean, the whole virus thing is very confusing for not only the league but just everybody in the world right now. Just there's a huge gray area on the whole vaccinated, not vaccinated, all this and that, and it's trickling down to our game that we love so much in football in the NFL. But it's unfortunate. Hopefully, we will see next year there'll be more improvements, and
Hopefully.
this will have less of an impact on the season because it
Yeah.
wasn't really having
Like
a
it's something
huge
you can just like
impact.
watch over.
Right, exactly. It wasn't really having a huge impact earlier in the season, but now we see later in the season, these colder months, is really running
Yep.
through the league. So, you know, hopefully it does get better. Hopefully it does get better. All right, Alex, I want to ask you. I want to ask the Rain Gang about this. Now we didn't face this question, this type of adversity yesterday, but the whole going for it on 2-point conversions and just these all or nothing plays. How do you feel about it? And do you think that we should continue, Harbaugh should continue going forward with gambling on these 2-point conversions for the game?
I think this season you can't do anything about it. With the Packers one, just hearing more people talk about it, let's just set the scene. Let's say we get the two. It's what, 32-31, 44
Right.
seconds. Aaron Rodgers has the ball with one timeout. Let's say Tucker does one of those amazing kicks, takes 4 seconds off the clock. They have the ball 40 seconds at, let's say, let me be nice, the 25-yard line.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has to go, I'm gonna say to the 35. Let's say Crosby can hit from 52. Do you think he can get those yardage? What, 35, 40 yards?
I
I
definitely
mean,
think he could. Yeah.
so I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Even if we kick the extra point, I see what he's going for.
Mm.
And we had the momentum. That's maybe the only thing I can see. Like, we had the momentum. We were stopping him. We were getting to the quarterback. Just had a sack on him.
Yeah.
But I think just going straight for Mark Andrews is twice now. They're designed towards Andrews, and everybody in the stadium knew where they were going that play.
Right.
You see the rollout. There's only one person over there. It's 89.
Yeah. I agree, man. Like you can't like if you're gonna go for like an all or nothing type play, at least don't make it obvious on who you're going to.
Yep.
Like you said,
Both of
everybody in the right. Everybody in the building knows that you're gonna go to big number 89 because that is your best player on offense, and they know that you probably don't have the creativity to scheme one of these other guys open. Cough, cough, Greg Roman. But my thing is this: I really don't like the whole going for it on 2-point conversions, and I get it. Like the secondary is banged up, and Aaron Rodgers would just torch them, even though they just made a stop on Aaron Rodgers and co. But my thing is like you just need to like not put your offense, this young offense, these young players in these all or nothing situations, all in these situations where it's like, hey, if we don't get this play right here, it's over. Game's over. You don't want to put your team in those type of situations in that mental space over and over again. Like it's just not like I don't think it's smart. I really just don't think it's smart, man. And like you're gambling, on top of the fact that you're gambling that much, you're like you said before, you're only going to one side of the field, one player, so you're shortening the field and you're making it a lot easier for the defense to hone in on what you're trying to do. So for that reason, I especially didn't like it. I didn't like it when, we played the Steelers and we went for it. I didn't like it when we played the Packers because we had Tyler Huntley out there. It's not even Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You got Tyler Huntley out here saying, hey, game's on you. Go
And if
win it.
Lamar's in that play, he's hitting Hollywood because because they
He's hitting
ran the same
Hollywood.
play, I think,
Yeah.
against the Bengals or the Steelers last year when he threw crossbody and hit Hollywood in the back of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
I then they kicked they went for it on fourth down,
Right.
ran the same play, didn't work. Huntley sacked.
Huntley sacked. Exactly. We do have a super chat donation. I think we have two. One of them was from Darius the Official. I think I missed this one, and he kind of talked about what we're talking about now. He says, "Man, what it is with these 2-point conversions lately? Yeah, man, it's the decision making needs to be just a little bit better for me. Needs to be a little bit better for me." But thank you so much for making it rain here on episode 89 of PRP. You are the greatest, Darius, man. He's always coming out, always supporting. We appreciate you. We do have another super chat donation. This one's coming in from Yolanda. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Another loyal viewer, supporter of the show and the channel. We appreciate you for making it rain here on episode 89 of PRP. She says, with the Packers, we should not have gone for the 2-point conversion in the first quarter. To me, that was nonsensical. Alex, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think talking about the fourth down, I mean, that's 3 points leaving on the board.
Yeah.
And I saw what he was doing. Like I'm not gonna say I hated it, because I'm at the point in the season. Why not?
Yeah.
Literally, why not? Because there's nothing that's gonna change this season. But I can see why we should have went for 3. And now look at it. Could have made a difference.
It would have made a difference, and that was what I was so afraid of. Like when I saw us lining up to go for it on that fourth down, I'm like, hey man, if this game comes down to the wire and we lose by less than 3 points, I'm going to remember that play. It's going to be engraved in my mind, or that decision, that call. It's like, hey man, take the points. Take the points. They're guaranteed points. I know 3 is not as good as 6, but 3 is a whole lot better than nothing.
0.
Exactly. It's a whole lot better. So it's like, I don't know, just take the points. On top of the fact that we have the best field goal kicker in the history of field goal kicking, at least when it comes to the
best
NFL.
Kicker all time.
Yeah, period. So I don't know why we're not utilizing him more, especially in a season where, it's been harder for us to move the ball down the field, especially with no running backs. Offensive line hasn't been as good as well. So my thing is, if you cross the 50-yard line into opponent's territory, you need to automatically start thinking about,
That's Tucker range.
That's Tucker range. That's Tucker range right there. Like, there's no reason we should not be coming away with points when we pass the 50-yard line. I won't say the 50 because that's a little far. But
in a dome, like in a dome,
in a dome, maybe. Right, in a dome, maybe.
Or if the wind's going, helping you out, why not?
Right, like literally, if you get within the 40, that's not the red zone, but that's Tuck zone.
That's 57.
Yeah,
40's 50. I mean, yeah,
that's Tuck zone right there. Like you got to realize that. So, just get more points on the board, the better. But thank you so much, Yolanda, for your super chat donation. We appreciate you. Kayla Sports says, hey guys, what's up, Kayla? Thank you for coming through. Let's see. Kayla Sports says, honestly, I do not want to sound like a doubter, but we should not be in the playoffs. We have too many injuries, and going for 2 for the game has not worked out. I don't want anyone else to get hurt.
That's not sounding like a doubter. You're just telling how it is.
Telling how it is. Speaking the facts, all this going for 2, man, it clearly hasn't worked out. We're not that team. We don't have the weapons. We don't have the creativity. We don't have the blocking, things like that in order to execute some of these plays. So my thing is, hey, I know nobody wants to put faith in the defense, but just like you're saying, or just like Harbaugh is saying with his logic, hey, with this one play, we can go out there and we can give ourselves a really good chance to go win the game.
And with that one play, Aaron Rodgers throws up Devontae Adams.
Right.
I mean, it's just
like you said, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I say let your guys go out there and fight for it, man. Because all it takes is one good play from the defense too. Aaron Rodgers he's human. He makes mistakes. Like you said, we just stopped.
He is human. He is
on the drive
human.
Before, right? So
he said some things. He's human.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think that the going forward on 2-point conversion, it feels unnecessary a lot of the time, especially when we go for it earlier. It's just like, just tie the game. Get back in the game, tie it, give your guys the mental shot that like, hey, we tied this game, we're back in it, we can go out there and win it. Not like, hey, we gotta win it all on this play. I don't like that. John James in the house says, Rain Gang. What's up, John James? Appreciate you for coming through. Hey guys, make sure you like this video. Like this video if you're just coming through. Leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new to the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you so much. So much. And we love you, man, because we love all the Rain Gang. We love the Rain Gang. All right. So, let's see. Chris Reed, we'll just take some more of what you guys are saying in here. Let's see. What's up, y'all? I don't know, man. The playoffs for these boys will be nice. They've been working hard, but on the other hand, let's just move on to the offseason. And next year is our year. Yeah.
I don't like saying next year, but a lot has to change. There's a lot of guys out there that if you gave them Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, hell, I'll throw them there. Josh Oliver, Nick Boyle, who can block, because Oliver, he has made his catches. Duvernay, Prochet, Wallace, they're making something happen.
Yeah.
They beef up that line, draft, free agency, they can do something. Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins.
Oh my gosh. And the sad thing is we were having the same exact conversation going into the season because we knew what we had. But then, a week or two before the season, all those injuries mount. We'll be getting Marcus Peters back too, hopefully. But all those injuries mount up, and here we are, 16, 17 weeks into the season.
Yeah, can you bring up King's comment real quick?
King? Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Tired of it.
Tired of saying next year.
We're in the final year. We're going to be in the final year of Lamar Jackson's rookie contract. And what have we done? What have we done?
And it's kind of dangerous, though, too, right? Because you got to think, if the Ravens shut down Lamar for the rest of the season, how does that bode for his contract talks? Because it's not like he had an all-pro season, an all-world season, and a lot of that isn't his fault.
Did not deserve the Pro Bowl. I'm sorry. Getting out there.
Yeah, I don't think he really deserved it either. But, it's Lamar Jackson.
It's helping him out.
Yeah. Helps out his case, for sure. But I feel like you got to throw Lamar Jackson in the Pro Bowl because it's Lamar Jackson. He's like a human highlight reel. That's what the Pro Bowl is all about. But yeah, man. I just don't know how that's gonna go for his contract talks because the general consensus right now is that they really haven't talked about much.
Nope.
Because Lamar does not have an agent. I know he uses his mother to represent him, which is there's nothing wrong with that at all. But sooner or later here, they're gonna have to start hashing out a deal. And if the Ravens bring their leverage to the table saying, hey, well, you had a really good year in 2019. You won MVP. That's awesome. But the following 2 years, you kind of had a drop off. You had a decline 2 years in a row. So
but maybe we don't. Says, when I have a good line, look what happens. I had shit targets, but a really good line. And look what I put together. That's because that is all that's missing. You look at the Raiders game. He was getting sacked every other play, getting rushed or hurried. He put up 35. Well, how many? 35 points, 20-some point, like a lot,
something like that.
3 or 4 touchdowns. So imagine him with just a decent lineman.
Yeah,
protect him, protect me, and I will get you what you want.
Yeah, definitely needs a much better line for sure. Let's see. Chris Reed says, in all honesty, Lamar needs to be a top 3 paid quarterback. And I get people worry about not being able to get player while your quarterback is on a big contract. But look at the Chiefs.
It's just the way they did his contract. And people did restructure. Kelce restructured. No, Hill didn't restructure. And the Mahomes restructured.
Yeah. So hopefully the Ravens do pay him his money that he deserves because, we cannot forget how many game-saving plays Lamar Jackson has made for us in the past couple seasons, and he definitely deserves his money because we're getting him for what? How many million right now? Was it like
pennies?
8? Yeah, it's like pennies, basically. Yeah. So, all right, bring up a couple.
I feel it's sad because in about a week or so, we're gonna be looking at who can the Ravens target in free agency. I've already started. I've already started.
Who are you looking at?
Lyman.
Okay.
Both offensive and defensive.
I think getting Lyman in free agency is definitely a good move. You look at what we did. We got Zeitler.
And that hit. You signed a tackle of his quality. His contract isn't bad. You gave 2 years, $14 million to Villanueva.
Ooh, I don't know what we're gonna do with this extra season, man. I don't know about that because once Stanley comes back, there shouldn't be any question about who plays left tackle for sure. But there's definitely gonna be some question about who plays right tackle because I don't want Villanueva on that right side.
That's our biggest question mark, I think, going into next year. Right now,
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
because you saw wasn't pretty week 1.
yeah. Was not pretty at all. So yeah, hopefully they do shore up that offensive line, whether it be in free agency. I don't care if it's trade. I don't care if you got a draft. Just do what you got to do to protect your best investment, which is Lamar Jackson.
Best case scenario, Jawan James looks good, and you draft a right tackle behind him, or just draft a tackle who can play both. That's best
Yeah,
case. We
yeah.
just can't go in with how we look with Villanueva because Villanueva have good games. As in good games, he just doesn't make many errors. Or he has the bad games. We know exactly what the bad games are.
The bad games are really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just bring up a couple more what you guys have to say in here. Let's see. SG says Ravens remaining schedule, Rams and Steelers both at home. The Bengals have the Chiefs in Cleveland. Thoughts on this? So,
Focus on yourself.
focus on yourself,
We have
right?
a 9% chance to win the division. The Bengals right now, sky high in confidence. Cool. I mean, I like Joe Burrow. It kind of sucks to have to like a division quarterback.
I think Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, right now, just
I think he's top 3.
balling out.
Like that might be
out.
crazy for me to say. Maybe I am
I'd
crazy.
go top 5.
It's just what he's able to put on the football field as an overall product. I mean, he has it all. I mean, he's what I like to call he's an ace quarterback, right? He can do a little bit of everything. Like he can throw the deep ball, he can throw the intermediate, the short routes, the comebacks, anything like that. He's very good with timing. He gets the ball out on time. If he doesn't, he's breaking a sack, breaking a tackle, rolling out, and making something happen down the field. Like he's very, very good at that. He's very good, and you can see his guys rally around him too. So he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. That whole Cincinnati team, as long as they continue to draft well, build on the bottom up, that sort of thing, they're going to be really, really scary. And Joe Burrow is a big part of that.
What's crazy about the Bengals is that remember how we wanted like a big pass rusher in the offseason? Oh, they got one. Trey Hendrickson.
14 sacks right now.
We waited till the end. Same thing with Villanueva. I'm not knocking Justin Houston, but we waited till the end. And look what happened. This is what happens when you wait till the end and get the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the crusty crab barrel, the scrapes off of that.
Right.
The tartar sauce. That's literally what we get.
Yeah.
And we expect it.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad, man. It was really, really bad. All signs are pointing towards next year, right? We'll be better next year. It is as unfortunate as it is, but yeah.
I think
I see Dylan says, bro, top 3. Sutton, you're tripping. He leads the league in picks. I did not know that. I did not know that he led the league in picks. But he sure looks damn good against the Ravens, which says something to me, So that's all I'm saying, guys. Maybe not top 3, maybe like Alex said, top 5. I mean, but I based off of what I see from him, there's a lot of young quarterbacks that are not on his level. Absolutely not on his level.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. And this is only his second season, so it's only up from here. But all right.
Him and Herbert have done wonders. Like
Herbert, yeah. Definitely been going off too. Now let's talk about before we wrap for the night. Let's talk about the game tonight, right? So the Dolphins are taking on the Saints. As I said before, the Ravens right now, as it stands right now, they have the 7th seed. So basically, they're in the playoffs. If the season ended right now, the Ravens would be in the playoffs. But it's contingent upon whether or not the Saints can take care of business against the Dolphins tonight. Who's at home? Where's it at?
Saints with Ian Book.
Who?
At Notre Dame. Went 30 and 7, I believe. He leads Notre Dame in quarterback wins. Was 8th in passing yards, or I believe. I had ESPN on. I faintly heard it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not counting on much. I'm at the point if we make it, cool. I get a Ravens playoff sweatshirt. If we don't make it, rats. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what it That's what it sounds like at this point. But I mean, like, I don't even know who Ian Book is. I'm just really hoping that he can squeak out a W against the Dolphins tonight. Hopefully, we get some Cam Jordan, throwing fits for what's his name, Tua, and you
Yep.
get Alvin Kamara going off and putting in
Lattimore,
some work.
Gardner Johnson,
Right, right. Hopefully, we get that. Hopefully, we get a lot of that action.
Mark
Here.
Ingram touchdown maybe.
Maybe that'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool. But
AK-41 doing his thing. That's the
bottom
thing.
of the
Use him.
line is
Use Kamara.
yeah. Bottom of the line is, guys, we need the Saints to win tonight in order to keep us in playoff contention, at least until next week. I feel like that would give our team something to fight for. If we did enter into this next coming up week with, the 7th seed, maybe we'll have a little bit more to fight for against the Rams at home, and then the Steelers again at home as well. I think these last 2 games are very winnable. NFC teams, we always play pretty tough. We normally beat NFC teams, right? But even the Packers, one of the best teams in the league, played them tough.
Are you saying something about the Rams?
They're a really good NFC team.
They are very good.
Yeah. I mean, am I saying, can we beat them? Will we beat them? It's tough to say, and you'll find out on Thursday's episode of Purple Rain Podcast.
I mean, can we talk about Aaron Donald against this line?
Aaron Donald. I don't even think about Aaron Donald. Von Miller.
You know what? I'm just hoping Marquise Brown cooks Jalen Ramsey. I would love that. 2 touchdowns on him last time.
I just want to know who's starting at quarterback. As of right now, it's looking like it could be me. It could be me. I might
you
have
and Kenji Bahar. That's who it's between.
Yeah, man. I mean, in all seriousness, if it is Tyler Huntley, I do have confidence in him being able to go out there and make just enough plays to win the game. But the defense has to do him some favors. You got to create some turnovers. You got to put him in the right position, and you got to make some stops, right? You got to get off the field on 3rd down. You can't allow huge plays on 2nd down. You can't win on 1st down on defense and then allow a 15 to 17-yard pass or completion on 2nd down. You just can't do that. It's not winning football, right? Not winning football at all. So I don't know, man. Lil said it says Sutton 3 interceptions, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. That'd be my stat line.
That's a Brett Favre stat line, just taking the risk. Got the touchdowns, but got the picks.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, we need to be Saints fans tonight. We need to be Saints fans. One more thing I wanted to bring up. Ben Cleveland took 100% of the snaps at guard yesterday, and I really liked what I saw from him. I think he was getting really good push. He was opening up some run lanes. He's much better in run blocking than pass protection, to me, it seems like. But, I feel like it's only up from here.
It's game experience. You can't fake this. If there's anything, say we don't make the playoffs, get these guys ready. I'm just trying to think of positives right now. I don't want to be that moral victory fan, but kind of all you can do.
Yeah, you're right. That's all you can do. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and we'll take a couple questions from you guys before we get out of here. So if you guys do have any questions, this is the question segment of the show. We'll take a couple before we get out of here. One more thing, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, If you just look up Purple Rain Podcast, you're going to find some podcasts about TCU. And they're very inactive. So make sure you look up the Purple Rain Podcast. Exactly. The Purple Rain Podcast on Instagram. And if you want to find me or Alex on Twitter or Instagram on our socials, you can find Alex on Twitter at simplyas10 and on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. And as you guys all know, on YouTube, just at simplyas10. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. How many subscribers are you at now? 20,000? Almost 30?
27.5.
Almost 30,000, man. 27.5.
I got a nice little copyright hit from the UFC. Not even
UFC.
from a channel in Taiwan. Took down my UFC, a knockout. So no more UFC videos from me.
When did you post a UFC video?
It was the guy who does the shoeies when he knocked him out last time.
Taito Ivasa,
Yeah. I love him.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love his energy. Yeah, I posted his knockout because that was nasty. I got taken down by a Taiwanese channel, so
that was a nasty knockout, man. Shout out to Taito Ivasa, all those island boys, man. They are different out there. They are different. But you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at SuttonDef. And yeah, let's see what questions you guys have. Let's see. JTV says, "Why do our receivers get the ball more when Lamar is not at QB?" Good
They keep
question.
it simple. They keep it really short. It's just
There's just one read, right? Quick
yeah,
reads, that
simple.
sort of thing.
Where
But
was the slant the whole year that went to, was it Prochet or Bateman? It was just a simple slant and got a first down. Like, where has that been all year?
who
We've been
knows,
asking
man?
for this.
We have. I don't know if it's we're really gonna get to see. That's why I kind of do want to see Lamar come back this week because the offense, despite us losing games, the offense has not looked terrible, absolutely terrible.
True.
So with that being said, and this is an offense without Lamar Jackson. So we had Huntley 2 weeks ago, and then we had Josh Johnson the other day. And both of those quarterbacks actually look like we said, serviceable. So I expect Lamar Jackson, if he does make a start this week, I expect him to be more than serviceable because he is Lamar Jackson, the former
Yep.
MVP, with 3 weeks of rest. It'll be interesting to see if the receivers still get the same sort of production, right?
That's something you gotta look out for.
And if they don't, like, what does that say about Lamar? Yeah.
Oh God, this I couldn't even take it.
It's tough questions.
Very tough. The burning questions of the
Yes.
2021 Baltimore Ravens.
Yes. This week we will find out because it's make or break. It's make or break. If we win this week, we still have a chance. We're still alive. We lose this week, it's really over. It's definitely over.
Yeah.
We're pretty much mathematically eliminated at that point.
Yep.
So, all right, let's see. J Prime 235 says record predictions for the Ravens. As it stands right now, we're 8-7 with 2 games left. I'd say we steal one of those games.
Yep. 9-8. I'm going.
9
I don't
and
know
8.
which one. 9-8.
9-8. Yeah. Kaylee Sports says, what are your thoughts on the Eagles' playoff potential? They have the 7th seed and need the Saints to lose. They've been on a roll lately.
They found their identity. That's what I love it. I think they can go in there and win a game.
What's their identity?
Run. Running.
Okay.
And I'm happy.
Yeah.
Their defense been playing good. Hurts. It's like just trusting your quarterback and he'll make something happen.
Yeah.
So
True. Let's see. Dylan says, will we make the playoffs? And simply, I have a request for a vid. Do you check your DMs?
of course I check my DMs. Will we make the playoffs? I don't think so. I want to, but I don't think so.
Right.
I'm just setting myself up for failure.
Yeah. I want us to make the playoffs just to say that we made it. We dragged this injury ravaged team all the way through an 18-game season into the playoffs. It would be amazing, It would
We
really be
wouldn't
amazing.
shut up. We would not shut up. I'm just going to be honest.
No, we definitely wouldn't. You're going to want to make sure you're tuned in to the Purple Rain podcast when that does happen, because we will be here to talk our stuff, aka shit. Let's see. Spooky J, last question of the night, says, question, what could the Ravens do in this last stretch that would disappoint you most? Given the events of this season, I predict they beat LA just to fold against Pittsburgh.
That's the one. You said it. That's the one.
That would suck because you get our hopes up that high, beating one of the best NFC teams, Super Bowl contenders with the best wide receiver, best defensive player in the league, and then we go out and we lose to the Steelers, who
Two best.
aren't as
Donald
good.
and Ramsey.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, for them to hold us up that high and then let us down, that would be very disappointing.
That'd be
for
peak.
sure.
That'd be peak.
Yeah. Now, for me, what would be most disappointing is if we put Lamar out there and he's not 100% and he gets injured and aggravates his injury,
cut it.
and that injury bleeds in the next season. That's what I don't want. That'd be the most disappointing. I'm just saying.
This dream.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Don't bring that bad energy around here, please.
I know.
I don't know.
Last thing.
That's worst case scenario. What you just
Worst
said.
case scenario, definitely. Last thing I see from Kaylee Sports here, he says, you got to think Wink has to switch the schemes, right? We don't generate pressure or sacks, but guys leave and become Pro Bowlers like Judon and Zadarius Smith.
He's stubborn. Same.
He doesn't let pass rushers be pass rushers.
The same way we saw that he went out there and ran his mouth. He's stubborn. Somebody pumped his head up too much. You're like an airhead. You got to take the air out. Unfortunately, the only way I think is if he goes and is the head coach somewhere and just flops. I'd be rooting for him. That's all I can think of.
Right. Yeah. There's been talks about after the season he might go and interview with the Jags for that head coaching position, and there's been some more stuff, but we'll see. We'll see where our guy Wink ends up in the off season.
His
But
name hasn't even been brought up though, for like
yeah.
the top 6 candidates. He's not up there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
well, like I said, we'll see. But this has been episode 89 of the Purple Rain podcast. We just hit an hour on the nose. So
Oh,
big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching this episode or listening to this episode, the Mark Andrews episode of the Purple Rain podcast. We love you guys so much. Before you get out of here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel as well. Follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. You guys know the whole nine, the whole drill. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through. Episode 89 of the Purple Pain podcast. And as always, like, subscribe, share, and don't forget, stay positive.
Yeah.
Test negative.
Always. And never forget to call God. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.